Hello guys, welcome back and welcome to this new Cinema 4D tutorial. And in this tutorial, we'll be doing some Confetti animation logo review. And the original creation is from Zutik, and he did this 5-second project on Grayscale Gorilla. So let's just check it out. Let's have a look at that again. So basically what he did here was using the inheritance factor, and he also put on a breakdown, but that breakdown or tutorial was is in Vimeo and had no audio. So I thought give this guy some credit and make a tutorial with voice and put it up on YouTube and help him grow. He'll feel happy with that. So anyways, let's get started. So here I am in a new project, and I'm going to go and change the render settings, make it HD. Okay, and we want to go and grab in a mode text. And while this loads, let me just show you my recreation. So this is my recreation. So that was my recreation. So we'll be making the same thing. I mean, you can use any letters and any number of letters you want. So here we're gonna I'm gonna type in D, and I'm gonna set it to a tall font. Let's see what we want. Santana black. Let's try a. I mean, any font is good. It works with any font. Typographica. And I want a D. The D I want it really nice looking. Perfect dark. No, not that. Montserrat black. That's too thick. Wait, I think this one. Let's see. Romero. That looks good. Yeah. I'm gonna set the height to 400. So it's pretty big. And let's just make this. Okay, it's a regular rod. Regular. Romero, yeah, that's good. And I'm going to set this to a right orientation, and I'm going to just name this D, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to name this C, and move this to the left, and we can give it some spacing. So I'm going to set that to, let's say, 50. Oops, minus 150. Minus 100 would do, and this C will be a 100. So you have some good spacing. Now, the thing here is that we want the confetti to come from an original source, then move on to D, and then move on to C. So the original source here will be a torus, and I'm going to go and set that to a Z orientation, and I'm going to set the chord Z to minus 1000. 1000. So that is pretty back over there. The next thing we want to do is we want to go and grab a plane, and we want to set the width segments to 20 and the height segments to 10. Sorry, the width and height to 10 and the segments to 1. And then we want to go to MoGraph cloner and drop this plane inside the cloner, and we want to take in the cloner we want to set the mode to object, and we want to take this torus and drop it in. So now we have all the planes logged on to the torus. Okay, and then what we can do is we can go and select the cloner, go to MoGraph effector, and choose a random effector. And in the random effector, we want to uncheck position, and we just want to click rotation. We want to set the rotations to 45, and also give it a slight position change of 5. And in the cloner, we want to go and we want to set this to surface, and we want to set the count to say something like 300. Let's set that to 400, make it look good. And we want to bring this torus down, and we want to call this emitter, and let's hide this. So now we have it like that. The next thing we want to do is I'm going to go and take this two letters and make them editable. And let's open them down and make this editable again. And select these two, right click, connect plus delete, take that out, and drop this down, make this editable. So all this, right click, connect plus delete. We're going to take this out, we want to delete these two, remove the selection tags, and then let's name this D and C. Perfect. And I'm going to name this cloner out. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to select this cloner which has the random effector already applied, and we're going to go to Morph, effector, and choose a inheritance effector. Now I'm going to name this inheritance D, and in the out, the effectors, I want to set the inheritance D first and then the random effector. Okay. Now inheritance D, we want to put in an object over here. So the object is I'm going to make a cube, and I'm going to make a Morph effector cloner, drop the cube inside the cloner and uncheck this and hide it. And I'm going to name this in D, and in the inheritance effector I'm going to drop in this one, and here in the cloner, so in the inheritance effector, wait a second, okay, so in D, and here in the cloner, in the object, set that to object, and we want to drag in this D, and here, okay, once that is done, we will go to the inheritance effector, and in the follow we want to set that to linear, and set the size to 250 by 250 by 250, and we want to set the rotation to 90. Okay, let's set that to -90, and then we're going to drag this back, and now when we move front we don't see any changes happening. So in order to make that work, we want to go to the effector and choose Morph motion object. So now when we move front, we see that all the clones, it goes on to the cloner like that. And let's hide all this, and let's move back and see what we get. So it gives us something like that. Now since this is going only on the vertex, we want to go to this and this one, and we want to choose this to surface. That gives it Control C. Let's choose the inheritance effector and move it. That doesn't look good. Yeah, Control. Oops. What was that? Yeah, that was the camera move. So we were at the inheritance effector, and we want to set the amount of clones to 350, and that's what we're talking about. We can even set that to 500 to make it more sharp. Let's see what we get. Okay, that is looking really good. And I think I'm going to go and set the clones to around 700, make that even more large. Okay. See, 1,000 clones. Let's set this to 8,000 clones. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're talking. Okay, so that defines the shape of the letter really well. Okay, now one more thing I want to do is in this, I'm going to go and make a cube, and this cube setting will be the same as the plane, so that is 20 and 10. And I'm going to take this, drop it on into the out cloner, and drop the plane inside this cloner, and we want to hide this and press the green traffic light for this so that it is seen. And now when we go back, we can actually see, let's go out, a lot of oops, control Z, not that. Yes, we want to move the inheritance factor. So if we go here and we move it, okay, uh, I'll tell you the reason why we put on the cube. One more thing I want to check is we want fixed clone and align clone to be selected over here. Okay, so now let's select the inheritance effector, and let's go to frame 0, and we want to set this to -800, and let's make a keyframe, and let's go into frame 20, and we want to set that to a +800, make a keyframe, and this emitter we want to set that to -2000. Okay, so now if we make a render, we see that it just flies in. Now one change we want to do is we want all these particles to not just fly in, but to swarm in. So to do that, I'm going to go to the cube, right click, choose simulation tags, add a rigid body, and in the follow position and the follow rotation, I'm going to set that to 15 each. So now when we go in, we see it all swarming in and then forming a group there. Okay, let's just see that once again. It kind of swarms in. Good. Next, let's duplicate this cloner by pressing Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm going to name this in C. And then we're going to go to this cloner, and we'll go to the effectors and choose Morph effector, inheritance effector, and I'm going to name this inheritance effector inheritance C. Let me just bring this down, not there. Bring this down there. Now, in this inheritance effector, we're going to drop in. Here we dropped in D, so here we're going to drop in C, and here in C we are going to drop in the letter C, and then in the inheritance effector go to fall off infinite linear and set that to 300 by 300 by 300 this time, and go to the coordinates, set that to -90 degrees, and set the X to -800, and now if we move this, we still do not see any changes because we forgot to go to the effector and choose Morph motion object. So now we go there, we still cannot see any changes. So for that, we want to go to the effector here in C, and we want to put in this inheritance D effector. Now let us try. Nope, still no success. Oops. We want to remove this inheritance effector from in C, and we go to in D, and we have in C, and here we have D. So here we have G, and here we have inheritance C. So the reason that when we take the inheritance effector and we move it up to the side, it does not get effected is because in here in this dynamics body, this effect follow position and follow rotation is affecting it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in some keyframes, and then we're going to see how it works out, right? So let me just inheritance C, I'm going to set that to -800, and then here in this we're going to go to frame 110, that is around here, and we're going to set a actually go to 115, 110, and we're going to set a keyframe, and then we are going to go to 114, and we're going to set that to 2, hit a keyframe, and then we're going to go further to frame 124, and we're going to set that to 3, and then we're going to go to frame 136, and then we're going to set that to 15, and then we're going to go to frame 191, and we're going to set that to 15, and then we're going to go to 195, and we're going to set that to 0. And also uh, on frame 100, we're going to set a keyframe 100 for the inheritance effector C at -800, and we're going to go to 150th frame, and we're going to set that to 800. So now let us see if we have any changes. So all these fly in. Okay. But as we see here, there's a lot of gap, and to make these confetti come in more slowly, here in the dynamics tab under mass collision, I'm going to set the bounce to 20, friction to 50, and the collision noise to 0. And now let's have one more look. So now they all come in and they settle down, but that is still happening too fast. So apart from that, to make it come in even more, in the force, I'm going to set the aerodynamic settings over here. So the drag and lift, I'm going to set that to 0.1. Now let us check it out. So now it all just, worms in like a, like a wormhole, and then it is forming a part of the letter. And then next we have our another set coming in, and that whooshes in our letters or confetti, and then the follow position falls down and falls back up, and then we have our final letter formed that falls in, and then it all gathers up. I'm sorry for the wireframe render, and then it all falls down. So that is pretty much it. So let me just uncheck this and see that it is something like that. So at this frame we have something like this at 180. That is not a problem, right? So let's go back over here, and we want to go and add two effectors, MoGraph effector and simulation tags rigid body. I'm sorry, not effectors, dynamics tag. So here we want to go to the collision and set the bounce to 0, friction to 100, and collision noise to 0. And then on frame 117, we want to go and to the dynamics and make a keyframe for enabled, and we're going to go one frame ahead, and then we're going to uncheck that off, and then we're going to copy paste this effector, and we're going to go and delete these keyframes. And here on frame 194, we are going to enable it and choose enable, and we're going to go next frame and uncheck it. So now let's set this to 300 frames. So now what actually this happens is when the okay, let's just go to display level of data and set that to low. So what actually happens is, whoa, what seems to be the problem? Let me just remove this tag and see if there was any mistake. Whoa, let's go to fill options, level medium. Let's see what do we have going on. What? Oh, let's put that somewhere else actually. My bad. What? I cannot see anything. This is over here. Let's go to level little high. Oh my god. What seems to be the problem? Oh, I forgot. We want to set the dynamic to off. Okay. Now let me check if it works out. Yes, there it is. Perfect. So, oh come on. Why is anything coming? Our confetti is falling down for some reason. I don't know. Let me just remove this tag and see if that is making a difference. Ooh. Ah, that is correct. We have moved this by mistake. Yeah, so this was what, 100? We're gonna set this to minus 100. What? No. Yes. I don't know, minus 350. God knows what that happened. Let's bring this back on to our dynamics effector. Off. Yes, so let's hide this and hide this. I think you want to set this more to the side. And let's just make a final look. So we have all our confetti just flying in and, you know, making up the logo, sorry, the letter, and it's all just gathering up everything. And slowly, actually, you know what? Now I'm gonna go to fill options, level of detail, and now low. And now we got a faster preview. Everything just settles there. After a 100th frame, the next inheritance effector moves in, the confetti comes down and gathers up, and then it's forming up again, and then it falls down. Perfect. That is absolutely brilliant. So now let's get on with the rest of the scene. So let us go to the end. Or this much is pretty good. Or actually, let's just uncheck that. So let's make a target camera, and then we're going to go and choose a circle, and I'm going to set the plane let's make this level of detail high, and the radius to 1280 xz, and then we want to go to camera, cinema 40 tags, align to spline. Drop this circle inside that, and then the camera target, we want to set that to 100 centimeters above. Okay, and the circle, we want to set that to 315 degrees up. And then let's look into the camera, and we have this view, but this is not what we want. We want to go to the circle, and in the age rotation, we want to set that to minus 110. Hit a keyframe, and we want to go to the end and set that to minus 80, and hit a keyframe there. And we want to select this, choose linear, select this, choose linear, and let's go back. And actually, I'm going to go set the level of detail to low. So now we have a nice camera animation. Next, we want to add a seamless floor. So I'm going to go here and to the presets, choose the HDRI Light Kit Studio, and choose a seamless floor. And then we want to go choose a HDRI Studio Rig. And the default HDRI pack is good. The texture is good. Then we're going to go to the seamless floor, and on the disk here we want to go choose right click, cinema 40 tags, sorry, simulation tags, and choose a collider body. And then here in the collider body we want to set the dynamics to off, and in the collision we want to set the bounce to 30 and the friction to 80, and actually the other way around, bounce to 80 and the friction to 30. Great. And let me just change the color of the seamless floor. Set this a little bit more dark and set this a little bit more white-ish. Okay. And then we want to add in a few lights. So let's get away from the camera, and we're going to add in 3 lights. So let's make 3 lights. So the bottommost light, we want to go to the general tab and set a blue color. So I'm going to be using the RGB values as 235, 252 and 255, and the brightness I'm going to set that down to 85% with a shadow map soft. And in the coordinates I'm going to set these to 510 for the x, 125 for the y, and minus 480 for the z. So it is right in front over here. Okay, actually we can go and make this an area light. So go to general and set this to area light, and here in the, actually let's just set that to shadow map soft, big deal. And then we want to go to the second light, and we want to set that to white color with a brightness of 15%, because we're going to be checking ambient illumination. And in the coordinates I'm going to set that to 75, minus 210, and then 400. So that is coming from the bottom. And here in the, okay, and then here in the last light we want to go and to the general tab, we want to add a orange shade. So 238 for the G, and for the B color we want to set that to 224 and set the brightness down to 60%. And go to the coordinates and set that to minus 650, minus 300, 300, and minus 320. So that is on the right side. And here in the floor we want to make sure that uncheck cache shadows is unchecked. So now let's go to our camera, and let's make a small preview. Let me hide this. Let's make a render, and we see some good reflections. Now the only thing left is to make a color, I mean to add colors to our the confetti is over here. So let me just check if the dynamics are really good. And here as this, they fall down and they're on the floor. So here is a new material. So I'm going to go to the color, and I chose go to Morph and choose a multi-shader. And in the multi-shader I just added 4 colors. So what you just have to do is click on add, and it adds up a new thing. We just go to color, and let's choose a color. So I choose red, orange, blue, green, and let's see something like a pink or a purple. Let's go back. So 5 different colors, and we're going to apply it to our textures over here. And we're going to take this multi-shader and drop it on our cube over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this cloner. We're going to go to Morph, effector, random effector, and here in the effect parameter we're going to uncheck position. We're going to go to color mode, set that to on, and blending mode to add. So now we see a bunch of different colors, and let's make a render, and we see it over here. So let me go to display, cameras, navigation, actually a level of detail, and set that to high. Let's go back, and let's play this and look at the swarm of confetti just blasting into the letter. And let's make a render. Okay, and in the render settings we can go to anti-aliasing, set that to best, add a ambient occlusion if we want, and multipass was not required, and that is pretty much it. Let's make one more render and see what we get. Okay, we get some deep ambient occlusion. Let's try global illumination and see what we get. Set that to low, and let's make a render. Actually, let me just render this much out. So here we get some bright, very bright color. Looks amazing for me. So this is the tutorial, guys, and thank you very much for watching. And the credit, doesn't go to me as usual. I put a link in the description for you guys to check out that video. And thank you again for watching this tutorial. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in a new tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.